I've got quite a few people that have been asking for a review about this guitar, how it came, packaging, overall how it plays. First off, I'm going to start off with what it's made out of. It's, I believe, a 3.5 or 3.25 inch body, so it's a thin acoustic, mahogany top, back, and sides, and neck, Grover tuners with plastic. These are plastic buttons. New bone bridge nut. It comes with cheap plastic bridge pins, I believe they're called. I'm sort of new to the entire acoustic market. I've only had one other acoustic and a hollow body, which sits right over there. That's an Ibanez AG75. But first I'm going to start off with the things that I initially found wrong with this guitar as soon as I got it. First off, when I went to tune it, nothing was coming out. Nothing was coming out. The output, basically what I found is inside where the, I can't get to it right now without taking the strings off, but instead of there being like a headphone jack, there's a 2-pin jack that the piezo pickup plugs into the B-band equalizer. The sleeve that protects and basically keeps interference from getting to the ribbon wire, which also a mess up, I believe, using a ribbon wire for the piezo pickup. I had pulled the sleeve back over the connector so the ground would be attached and it would send a signal. After that, it was working. Then I had to address the fact that the strings were about that high, easily over 3 millimeters at the 12th fret for the low E, and the high E was above 2. So with that, I continually took out the new bone nut. I would loosen the strings, take out the pegs without completely taking off the strings, because I don't know if anybody who's taken off strings and tried to put them back on, it is a hassle. So I just loosened the strings, took out the bridge pins, took out the strings, took out the nut, filed it down about 5 or 6 separate times to get it perfect. Now the high E string is sitting between 1.5 and 1.75 millimeters depending on the humidity, and the low E is sitting between 1.75 and 2 millimeters, so it's a lot lower than what it came with. And I also set the truss rod action to what it's supposed to be. If you hold down here and here at the 8th fret, you're supposed to be able to slide a .010 filler gauge, so 10 thousandths of an inch. But after getting all that done, it's actually really good. I haven't practiced at all. I know I'm screwing up, but this is just to show what it sounds like. But you would think, with it being such a thin body. Oh yeah, I also moved the neck strap button was actually up under the neck. Right there, you can actually see the hole. Whoever came up with that idea, idiot, because I mean you'd have to hold it like that for it to for the strap to really knock it in your way. So I just moved it, drilled a hole, put it right here. But overall, it is an astounding guitar. Amazing. It is made in China. That is one thing I don't like about it. It has the ultra diamond inlays instead of the regular diamond. So I mean, even on the 12th, you got basically a one that's cut in half, and to make it look like a double. Inside, I don't know how well you can see, but it's an Exhibition Ultra. But after some work on the regular guitar player who doesn't know how to work on their own instruments and gear, you would have to send this to a shop and pay upwards of $50 to $100 just to get the setup that I had to do myself. Fixing the piezo pickup, fixing the bridge nut so the strings would be low, setting the action, on all my acoustics, I take the acoustic strings off because they're so damn hard to bend. They say this is electric guitar acoustic. So, I mean, you can go from an electric guitar to playing this very easy because the neck is very thin. As you can see, the neck is thin. And the body. And you wouldn't think that it would be that deep, but overall, like I said, it's a very nice guitar once you do the work to it. I believe this is Mother of Pearl, and it has the same thing going on with the inlays, and it goes all the way around the O-ring or whatever the hell it's called. I don't know exactly, but I mean, there's not much, and you can see on the output you have the USB. And you have the high impedance out. But one thing for the USB to work is you have to have a cord plugged in to activate the B-band equalizer. This can be done easily by buying a 1/4 inch to 1/8 inch accessory adapter for usually for headphones. And you can just plug it in so you won't have a cable, and that'll activate it, and then you have a USB. It comes with a manual for everything except the guitar itself. The guitar itself has no manual except how to set the truss rod. Doesn't show how to set the bridge nut or anything. I just did that by eye because I've worked on all my guitars for the 12 years that I've been playing, so I know how I like mine to sound. The fretwork is outstanding, but it does need a polish, which I will be doing. All you need for that is some steel wool. But overall, and like I said, I take off my acoustic strings and put on Ernie Ball power slinkies. They go to 11 to 48, I believe. So I still get the nice bass sound, but it's not as damn hard to bend the strings. I mean, I can bend, and you can actually hear. That's not the wood. That's the fret. And it does it everywhere. So basically, the frets need to be polished also. I'll be doing that next time I change the strings. So overall, a very good guitar, but when you get it, it does need some work. Do it yourself, or if you're not sure on what to do or how to do it, send it to your local tech and tell them exactly what you want done, and make sure they do it right. Do not pay for the work until it is done right, because I've heard many horror stories about people sending a guitar in, about, especially with a Telecaster, the G string, no, the B string, excuse me. The B string has a tendency to twang after you hit it. and usually it is a nut problem, and that is what I have seen every time. All you gotta do is replace the nut, no biggie. And make sure you use string trees up top, because since it is a 6 in line and not a 3x3, you really need to get string trees to stop the vibration of the strings past the nut, which is up here. They'll vibrate. A lot of metal players put something up here so they won't vibrate. I've never had a single problem. I mean, as you see, I have many metal guitars. That's what I mainly play. I mainly play metal guitars. The Ibanez hollow body is, I'm starting to learn jazz and classical. I originally wanted to buy this Dean, but it fell through, and I still had the money, so I decided to go get that at the local guitar center, and it was marked down from $400 to $280 for a some kind of sale that was going on, and the next day it was going back up to $400, so I grabbed it. I was actually looking at buying a $400 Ibanez acoustic, and I'm very glad that I did not, because I'm very happy with that guitar. And I will be doing a review for it later on. It's just mainly, I've seen, there's not many videos on YouTube for this guitar. Yes, that's vaporizer. But as you can see, it's a very simple equalizer. The tuner isn't a push on, push off. It'll actually go off after so much time of not being used. But as you can see, it's a little out of tune, not bad. Just the high E's a little flat. I mean the low E, excuse me. But that's about it when it comes to this guitar. Just remember, when you buy it, it's going to need a setup. So if you can't do it yourself, take it to your local tech, tell them what you want, and you'll be good to go. It plays just like an electric. Doesn't sound like an electric. And also make sure the shielding around the ribbon wire coming from the piezo pickup, make sure it's set in place. So if the ground isn't touching, you're not going to get a signal. So that's it. Happy Easter, and I hope everyone has a great time playing their guitars. And I will say, I highly recommend this guitar for anyone that plays electric, because it has a very slim body. I mean, just a little, I mean, maybe an inch thicker than a regular electric. And the neck is very thin. And the strings, once you get it done, they sit relatively low once you file down the new bone nut. Don't do it on the top, do the bottom of the new bone nut. Do it on the top, you're going to completely throw off the intonation. A lot of people don't know how to do things, and I've seen a lot of mistakes done from people doing their own work. Make sure you know what you're doing. If you don't, that's what the internet and YouTube is for. So if you've got any questions, comment below. But that's it. Peace.